Yeah, hello. Hi everyone. Welcome back to Sridhar's newsletter number 39 and podcast. So, appreciate you being here so we can connect weekly on interesting topics. So, do subscribe our Apple or Spotify podcast. The name is Minimalist Techie, or you can always come to my website and subscribe with your email ID so you can directly receive this on your email. So, as you guys know, this is basically a weekly newsletter is mostly about the article, books, radios, etc. What I read, watch, or view on a different topics which revolves around my head during the week. So let's dive into this week's reads. So we want to be quick this time. So very first topic which I wanted to talk was how to run team stand-ups effectively. Yeah, pretty basic topic, right? Yes, it is a pretty basic topic, but every now and then I come back and sometimes I feel I can definitely do better, right? That's the whole reason why I wanted to talk about this title for sure with our group of audience. See, personally, I run at least 3 to 4 stand up calls per day. Most of the days are good, but few days are not so great. Especially especially on not so greats, I'll end up reminding team in between the call to remind them how to give their stand-up updates clearly or after end of the call when I feel that if I am feeling that I could do much better, I would immediately refer to my OneNotes document online and where I have a few tips noted for me for time to time to read them quickly. Yeah, it is better to have your own self notes somewhere online or if you maintain your own book instead of searching online as there will be a quick refresher for you and also my online version actually allows me to edit the same for any updates. So this week sharing few tips which I have noted for myself and which would like to discuss with you guys as well. How to run the effective team stand-ups. Set a very clear agenda and stick to it. This will help keep the meeting focused and be on track. The most basic agenda which you can have team follow their updates is like basically you can ask them what did I do work on yesterday, what I am working on today, and what issues are blocking me. If you go with certain agenda as simple as this would be very quick for you to clearly know what they have done yesterday, what currently someone is working on today, what's the plan for today, and if any blockers in order to accomplish today's task, right? So it's very important that you go with a pretty basic agenda which should be very clear so that you can go from one person to the next person pretty quick and have your status progress as well. Yeah. Encourage participation from all the team members. This will help ensure that everyone feels heard and that important issues are being addressed. So keep the meeting pretty short and to the point. Stand-ups are meant for a quick check-ins, so try to keep the meeting as much short as possible. Normally, if your team is smaller size, definitely do lesser than 15. If you have bigger team size, you'll end up doing 30 minutes as well sometimes. But yeah, if you're literally doing a stand-up, just a matter of going pretty quick. 15 minutes is what is a good recommendation. Encourage your team members to share their progress, challenges, and any blockers which they are facing. See, this will help the team stay informed and identify areas where they can help each other. You can also follow up on any action items or issues that were brought up in the stand up. So, this will help ensure that the progress is being made and the team is moving forward. Keep it very informal and use a flexible format that works for your team, right? Because not every team is same and not every team is co-located. The teams are right now are fully remote or teams are either or in a hybrid mode, right? So keep it as much flexible and what will best works for your team, that's the right format. Be flexible, be adaptable for any change recommendation to improve your stand-up meetings from day on day. Be open to the feedback and adjust to the format or structure of the meeting as needed as to best meet the needs of your team. To keep everyone engaged, if you are literally standing in a room, then play a catch. Yeah. Literally, what you have to do is toss the ball for someone to catch it so they can give their update. Skip giving to the person next to you or who has already given their update. So this is something I have done only once in my career, and as mostly I had folks remote in my teams and we do most of the calls online. So I randomly call person name rather than going on a chronological order on the board. So go randomly so that you're suddenly calling someone's name out of, say, if you're doing a stand up for 10 members, then instead of going in alphabetical order of their names or what you have them on the board, the way you have done the setup or how your stick notes were there on your board, if you're manually doing it instead of a tool, then yeah, however it is, go with an option where you're calling randomly a person name so that they can give their update. That will make everyone being little attentive and be little engaged as well. If you're doing in person in a room, please make sure you're literally standing up for this meeting so that you're not going beyond 15 minutes, and that will, and make sure no other laptops, anything of that sort. So make your team member as well to be aware so that they are also very crisp and clear in their updates. These are like a few basic agendas, but like say if your team stand up meetings are basically running longer than expected, right? 15 minutes, some it works good for 3 to 4 members. 15 minutes work pretty good for 6 members for sure. I have seen it working good for 8 as well, but anything beyond 8, 15 is definitely not enough. I have seen that even with 6 members sometime the time easily goes to 20-25 minutes sometimes, right? So it's very important that you are keeping this time in control. Remind team members to keep their updates pretty brief and to the point. Encourage them to focus on the most important information and to skip over any details that are not relevant to the rest of the team, which is nothing but we are not interested what it took to get it done that particular task. As long as say on the board yesterday you're supposed to work on 2 tasks, you can clearly say I completed those 2 tasks, and as of now in the board in the to do for me I have this third task which I'm going to pick it up for today, and this requires an estimate of a day. Then you don't have anything else other than a planning effort for you, right? That's enough. If something you're picking, what are you're picking is just a 4 hours work, then you make sure that you let your team also know that you will be done with this task by afternoon and you will be available to pick some additional work, right? Or if you are having any blocker, don't get into details of the blocker, just say this particular ticket, this particular task, I'm running into certain blockers which needs to be discussed. Okay. So set a time limit for the meeting, and it's very important that you're sticking to it. This will help ensure that the meeting stays on track and everyone has enough time to complete their work. Encourage team members to come prepared with their updates. This will help reduce the time it takes for them to gather their thoughts and present their information. Consider breaking the meeting up into very smaller groups. The example which I was saying about, if you have a team more than 8 members, 15 minutes definitely sometimes is not enough. Then try to do break the team into a smaller groups or a sub teams. This will allow each group to focus on a specific task and will reduce the time it takes to go through the updates from every team member. Encourage team members to address any issues or the blockers during the stand up and to schedule the follow up meetings if necessary. So, this is very important because you are doing it pretty quick in those 15 to 20 minutes. Do remember any blockers which are being called out by the team member so that those blockers are not being discussed in that meeting. You're taking that as an action item, as a follow up action item after the meeting, and what all you need to do in order to get it resolved. Set a specific time for each agenda items and stick to it. Keep the focus on progress, not the problems. Encourage because the problems is basically you'll do it after the stand up call, right? That is where you take a follow up action in order to follow up on certain blocker. You don't need entire team for that. You need the person who is currently being blocked understand this current situation. Anyone else in the team can quickly help in resolving that, then have second person also helping hand, right? Or else they're currently being blocked because of some requirement from business they're waiting on, right? It can be they're waiting on some access, it has to come from a TVA, we don't know, right? So try to know that information, then you can go and now take an action item in order to resolve or help them, or at least point them whom to reach out, what to be done, what to be done in order to resolve the issues. Keep the focus on the problem, not the problems, right? Sorry, keep the focus on progress of your tickets on the board, not the problems. Encourage team members to share what they have accomplished since the last meeting, right? Not just what they're currently working on. That is the reason agenda is very important. You can always assign a facilitator who can keep the meeting on track and remind team members to stick to the agenda and to the certain time limit. Let me know in comment what are your best tips to facilitate effective team stand-ups. Okay, moving on to the second topic, which is team members taking sick leaves, long leaves, unplanned leaves is causing delays in your project. Yeah. If team members taking leaves is causing delays in your project, most of us face this issue. And now that many of my age group are in mid-level or the senior level managers, wanted to talk about this. Here are few things which we all can do in order to handle the scenario. See, develop a detailed project plan that includes backup plans and the contingency for when the team members are absent. This will help ensure that the project can continue to move forward even when the team members are away. Develop a cross training program to ensure that team members can step in and take on the responsibilities of the absent team members. This will help ensure that the project is not impacted by the absence of a single team member. Communicate clearly with the team members who are taking leaves, their manager, and the project team. Encourage them to clear handover instruction to provide a clear handover instructions before they leave and make sure their absence will not delay the project. Use tools like project management software or task management tools to keep the track of day-to-day progress and make sure that the deadlines are meeting. Before there's someone's planned leave, right? If someone's unplanned leave is happening, that deadline looking into the plan will always going to help you, and you will have your action item whom you should tag along who can fill in because of the absence of the resource. If someone is going for a long leave, then definitely consider hiring a temporary staff or contractors to fill in for the absent team members. Review your leave policy and make an adjustment as needed to ensure that it is a fair and it allows your team members to take the time off they need while minimizing the impact on the project. Be flexible and be willing to adjust the project plan and the schedule as needed to accommodate for leaves. If one team member is taking a lot of leaves and it is impacting the schedule of the project. Yeah. So far we are talking pretty generic, right? Let's say take example any one specific team member is taking lot of leaves, right? So just to rephrase how you will handle the situation. First thing what you have to do is communicate clearly with the team member about the impact their leaves are having on the project schedule. See, encourage them to provide a clear handover instructions before they leave and to make sure that their absence will not cause any delays in the project. This is where your one-to-one communication is going to help. As discussed earlier, you will need to develop a detailed project plan if you have not done that yet, that which will include the backup plans when this team member is absent. This will help ensure that the project can continue to move forward even when the team member is away. Develop a cost training program for this team member's responsibilities and ensure that other team members are able to step in and take on their responsibilities while they are absent. So don't wait for a unplanned leave to kick in. As you work on your project, make sure you have a cross training program across the team members. So yeah, everyone will be focused on what currently they are doing, but helping them here and there, recorded knowledge transfer sessions or having a cross training between the team members, it's definitely going to help if someone is going on a leave. First and most foremost thing is keep an open communication with the customers, with your business folks, and update them about the situation and come up with a plan that works for everyone. So it's very important that when someone is going on off, you are letting your respective business folks, stakeholders to know and share them with your plan so that no one is getting worried about the resources on leave on the project. No one is worried about their schedule going off the track. Yeah. You can review the leave policy and try to talk to the team member about their absence and how it can be managed better. So for if the person is going if, like say if someone went on accidentally on a certain sick leave and they have to ended up not coming back for a month, more than 2 months as well. In that case, that is when you will continue and you look for to hire a temporary staff who can fill the absence of this particular team member. We have an open and honest conversation with the team member. Try to understand the reason for their leaves, and if there is an underlying issue, try to address that. Right? If it's some personal issue, please show empathy so that you can plan with your own project management skills under your head, so that you don't have to worry just because of one person going on leave. Yeah? See, it's important to address this issue and come up with a plan that works for everyone and minimize the impact on the project schedule as much as possible. Remember to be empathetic and understanding of the team member situation while also ensuring that the project stays on track. Yeah, that's where I was saying that it's pretty important that you have an open and honest conversation with the team member. Yeah, that was just an example. That's an example how you, if you have to have an action plan so that you can address the issue. Yeah, this is not my generic weekly updates. It's just that I thought these are the few things which everyone in my work area, every one of my colleagues, friends who are currently working in software industry, definitely every here and then people will face this type of issue. So I just thought let's use this weekly schedule in order to talk about these two stuff which majority of us faces it. So do let me know in comments, or you can always reply to the email if you're subscribed to, or you can basically subscribe, like, share, whatever these days it says. The podcast is there on Apple Podcast or Spotify. The show name is Minimalist Techie, or you can always just subscribe to sridhargaripati.substack.com in order to receive directly the content on your email, and you can listen over the web as well. Yeah. So do let me know in comments, or do let me know and do let me know your feedback. That's definitely going to help me a lot, if so that I can keep on doing and bring on more and more topics of my point of interest and which even you would like to discuss. Stay connected, share ideas, and spread happiness. Thank you, everyone.